Hey everyone, it is great to be back with you. I have always been pretty transparent about my journey, especially the less glamorous parts, the failures, the mistakes, and today I want to dive a bit deeper into something that has shaped my financial outlook profoundly. The period when I, like so many young people, was absolutely convinced that I could get rich, and I could get rich fast. I remember being in my early 20s, fresh out of college, with a decent job and some savings. I was hungry, eager to make my mark, and honestly a little bit naive. I saw friends, or what I thought were friends, talking about their investment wins, showing off new gadgets, and it felt like everyone else was on this fast track to financial freedom. I did not want to be the one left behind, stuck in the slow lane. This desire, this intense longing for quick wealth, clouded my judgment and set me on a path that would ultimately cost me dearly. I came from a pretty average background, financially speaking. There were no trust funds or secret inheritances. Everything I earned through hard work. So, the idea of multiplying that hard-earned money quickly was incredibly appealing. I started reading articles online, watching financial influencers, and absorbing every piece of information that promised high returns. The problem was, I was not discerning. I did not have the foundational knowledge to differentiate between sound advice and pure speculation. I fell for the hype, the stories of overnight millionaires, and the seductive allure of trending stocks. I convinced myself that I was smart enough to spot the next big thing, that I could outsmart the market. Spoiler alert, I could not. Not even close. My investment strategy, if you can even call it that, was a chaotic mess of following trends, listening to unsolicited tips, and making impulsive decisions based on emotion. I would buy into something because everyone else was talking about it, convinced it was going to skyrocket. Then, the moment it dipped, even slightly, I would panic and sell, often at a loss. This cycle of chasing gains and cutting losses prematurely became my signature move, and it was devastatingly effective at eroding my capital. I remember one particularly painful episode where I poured a significant portion of my savings into a single, highly speculative stock, convinced it was a guaranteed winner. I had no risk management in place, no diversification, just pure, unadulterated hope. When that stock crashed, it took a huge chunk of my hard-earned money with it. The feeling of helplessness and regret was overwhelming. That was just one of many similar experiences. I got entangled in short-term trading schemes that promised daily profits, only to find myself staring at empty accounts. I almost fell for elaborate scam operations that promised unbelievably high, fixed returns. Luckily, I pulled out just before it was too late, but not without some initial losses. I consistently over-leveraged myself, putting too much money into single investments without understanding the true downside. My emotions, fear, greed, hope, despair. They were my masters. I was constantly checking my phone, my mood swinging wildly with every market fluctuation. It was an unhealthy and ultimately destructive way to manage my money. By the time I hit rock bottom, I had lost almost everything I had saved. It was a brutal lesson, but a necessary one. The moment of truth came after I had lost pretty much all my savings. I remember feeling a profound sense of emptiness, a realization that my quest for quick riches had led me to exactly the opposite. It was a turning point. I stopped chasing, stopped speculating, and started to truly learn. I picked up books on fundamental analysis, read about long-term investing strategies, and sought out credible financial educators. I began to understand concepts like diversification, asset allocation, and risk management. It was like learning a new language. But this time, I was committed. I realized that true wealth building is a marathon, not a sprint. It is about patience, discipline, and making informed decisions, not about gambling on the next hot tip. I started building a new financial foundation, one based on sound principles, not fleeting hopes. Now my approach to money is completely different. I focus on steady, consistent saving, investing in low-risk assets, and avoiding anything that promises unrealistic returns. My goal with this channel, and with everything I share, is to help others, especially young people in their 20s, avoid the painful mistakes I made. I want to demystify investing, strip away the jargon, and present common-sense principles that actually work. I do not claim to be a financial guru, far from it. I am just a guy who messed up, learned some incredibly hard lessons, and now wants to share those lessons so you do not have to go through the same pain. My experiences are not unique. Many people fall into these traps, but by sharing my story, I hope to equip you with the knowledge and mindset to build a more secure financial future. This brings me to a broader point, one that many of us, including my younger self, often overlook: the bigger picture of the global economy and how seemingly unrelated events can impact our financial lives. For example, let us talk about something like the World Cup. For years, I just saw it as a sporting event, a distraction. I did not connect it to the intricate dance of global commerce, capital flows, or technological advancements. But if you only view it through the lens of sports, you are missing a massive economic phenomenon, a global wealth redistribution on an unprecedented scale. Economists have even suggested that a single World Cup can significantly boost global GDP. It is far more than just a game played by a few dozen athletes. It is a mega event, drawing billions of viewers and catalyzing trillion-dollar industries through foreign trade and cross-border commerce. Consider the upcoming World Cup, jointly hosted by the US, Canada, and Mexico. This event is a critical barometer of global capital movement, with the US actively promoting reshoring and aiming to keep manufacturing within North America. One might expect Chinese companies to be on the defensive. However, the reality is quite different. Chinese enterprises are actively entering these markets, bringing not just their capital, but also their advanced technology and comprehensive supply chains. This kind of aggressive, all-encompassing push, covering everything from hardware to software, was unthinkable just a few decades ago. I vividly recall watching the World Cup in my youth. Back then, everything we used to watch the games, from the color televisions to the soft drinks, was imported. Even the athletic footwear worn by the players, though perhaps assembled in our factories, represented the lowest rung of the value chain. We were primarily a source of cheap labor, not innovation or technological leadership. Fast forward to today, and the landscape has completely transformed. Billions of football fans across the globe will be glued to high-definition screens for the upcoming World Cup, many of which are manufactured in China. The sophisticated urban transport systems serving the stadiums and the environmentally friendly electric buses shuttling fans around are often supplied by Chinese companies. What is more, the very technological backbone that ensures the smooth operation of the entire event, including underlying computational algorithms, intelligent broadcasting solutions, and real-time translation systems, are powered by Chinese AI. In the past, we were largely confined to being a manufacturing hub, a place of arduous labor. Today, we are actively setting technological standards and exporting advanced solutions globally. In this colossal trillion-dollar global economic arena, China has evolved from a relatively minor player into a pivotal one, mastering core infrastructure. This represents a formidable and undeniable shift in global power dynamics. So, the critical question for us, as ordinary individuals, is how do we capitalize on this era of dynamic change and seize the opportunities it presents? My firm belief is that the most effective way to engage with this global phenomenon is to immerse yourself in it, to experience it firsthand, whether that means traveling to North America to soak in the electrifying atmosphere of a top-tier sporting event, feeling the deafening roar of the crowd, or venturing into local markets to identify and explore new business opportunities overseas. The key is to step out of your comfort zone and directly engage with these markets. However, many people find themselves stalled at the very first hurdle, which is often cross-cultural communication. It is a common misconception that a basic grasp of conversational English and reliance on free translation apps will suffice for international travel. Let us envision a typical scenario. You are at a World Cup stadium, surrounded by a cacophony of sound, with an unreliable internet connection, and your translation app keeps disconnecting. How do you strike up a conversation with fans from other countries? How do you navigate ordering food or hailing a taxi when faced with a multitude of local accents that often trip up standard translation software? It is incredibly easy to become a silent tourist, unable to fully engage with your surroundings. Furthermore, if you are involved in critical business negotiations, an interpreter who lacks specialized industry terminology can inadvertently lead to professional gaffes, or even worse, jeopardize substantial deals. To address these multifaceted challenges, you do not necessarily need to master a new foreign language. Instead, the solution lies in equipping yourself with the appropriate tools. This is precisely why I strongly advise anyone planning to attend the Games, travel internationally, or conduct business abroad to carry an advanced AI translation earphone. This device is more than just a tool for cross-border productivity. It serves as your personal, ever-present guide to navigating the complexities of the world. For the intricate and often unpredictable environments encountered during international travel, or while attending large events, this device is an absolute game changer. Imagine being in a bustling World Cup stadium where mobile signals are notoriously weak, or navigating unfamiliar streets in a foreign country with patchy internet. The AI translation earphone boasts an offline translation capability, meaning it can facilitate face-to-face simultaneous translation for up to 18 language pairs, even in the complete absence of an internet connection. Moreover, you will no longer need to worry about encountering diverse local accents. The device supports translation across an impressive 122 languages and their respective accents. By simply wearing it, you can effortlessly engage in conversations with local fans, explore new cities without communication barriers, and truly immerse yourself in the cultural experience. This profound sense of immersion and active participation, I believe, is the most significant aspect of traveling to watch international sporting events. Once you have completed your market research and transition into formal business discussions, the professional capabilities of this device truly shine. A key differentiator between this and conventional translation software is its specialized industry knowledge. The AI translation earphone is preloaded with an extensive multi-million entry professional vocabulary database, meticulously curated across 17 major industry sectors, including foreign trade, finance, and healthcare. This means that from the moment your counterpart begins to speak, you will be receiving precise, industry-specific terminology. Whether your agenda involves attending an international industry forum or visiting a remote factory lacking internet access to inspect production lines, this device guarantees uninterrupted communication. And naturally, uninterrupted communication directly translates into uninterrupted business flow. Even if your work does not require international travel, and you primarily conduct cross-border video calls or online meetings from your domestic office, the device offers equally valuable functionalities. It supports online simultaneous interpretation for most major communication platforms. Considering that a typical international conference can easily span 2 to 3 hours, its integrated AI summary feature is incredibly useful. This function not only enables you to extract key discussion points and action items with a single click, but it also intelligently identifies and highlights cultural nuances and potential communication discrepancies that arise during cross-cultural interactions. Essentially, it is akin to having a highly skilled translator and a diligent business secretary by your side, both without the burden of hourly fees. The World Cup, as we know, cycles every 4 years, yet the windows of significant commercial opportunity are far more fleeting and ephemeral. In today's dynamic economic landscape, success is no longer simply about having the courage to take risks. Instead, it is about who can most effectively leverage advanced tools to bridge information disparities across global boundaries. For the average person in the current environment, the most valuable advantage lies in understanding broad macroeconomic trends and then swiftly adopting the necessary tools to overcome obstacles. By transcending language barriers, you can dedicate your energy to genuinely enriching experiences and strategic business engagements. Only then can you truly claim your share in this immense global celebration of wealth.